Hi guys, good morning everyone. This is Embrace PH today. I just want to show you a video of Congressman Marcoleta, and he said that he speaker will be proved to be behind the People's Initiative. He will tell Speaker Romualdez to step down. So now people are calling out for Congressman Marcoleta because after the Senate hearing regarding the People's Initiative campaign, and Attorney Abad, whom Attorney Marcoleta uh, mentioned in the first hearing, that Attorney Abad, maybe he is desperate. That's why he pushed this people's initiative, and he even show an evidence that um he have a paper for People's Initiative, and it shows that it were printed 1,500 to 2,000 ream, the paper which consume to print the said initiative, and it is worth 2 billion pesos. Now let's watch again, throw back the video of Congressman Marcoleta, and the continuation of the Senate hearing wherein Attorney Abad is already present. Eto na siya guys, please watch.
Attorney Abad. Okay. At tumataginting po yung pangalan ninyo dito sa form na pinagmudmod sa buong bansa. Andito, we hereby authorize Attorney Anthony A. Abad et al. To cause the filing of the petition, perform all acts necessary in furtherance thereof. Are you the same Attorney Abad whose name appears on these signature sheets for the People's Initiative?
Yes, that's correct, Madam Chair. Um, Madam Chair, Madam Senator Marcos, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Go, and of course Senator Risa Ontiveros. Before anything else, I would like to apologize for my absence in the last hearing, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify and speak this morning.
Yes, matagal kang inantay pero at least nag-email ka naman. Kaya marami po kaming katanungan para sa iyo. Unang-una, sabi ni Mr. Oñate nung nakaraan, na bahagi ka ng PIRMA. Are you part of the PIRMA organization? Neither does your name appear in the SEC documents or any other papers that we have retrieved with regard to PIRMA. Do you confirm that you are part of PIRMA?
Actually, Madam Chair, I am not a member of PIRMA, but I am assisting as an advisor the groups that are signing this petition.
So you're disputing Mr. Oñate's claim in January 30 that you are part of PIRMA?
I'm not, I'm really not part of PIRMA, not organizationally or a member of it. My role is really as an advisor on constitutional reform, if this petition ever prospers.
When did you become part of this operation, if not PIRMA?
Okay, my background, no, I am a professor of international economic law at Ateneo. I recently retired from the practice of law, and I had been a long time advocate of constitutional reform. So I have been promoting constitutional reform and advocating it since the period of President Fidel Ramos. That's why I had occasion to work with Carmen, with Tita Chit Pedrosa,
And the rest of the PIRMA incorporators.
yes, but I've never joined them organically. But I have supported and I've always promoted constitutional reform.
Or perhaps is PIRMA your client? Are you engaged as a lawyer of PIRMA?
No, I'm not. I'm actually doing this on a voluntary basis. Madam Chair,
I'm just very curious, given your very nebulous and inchoate relation with PIRMA, why is it that yours is a single name that occurs in all these sheets?
well, what happened, Madam Chair,
Yes, please proceed.
What happened, Madam Chair, is, I've been a long time resource person for both houses. No? Here in the Senate, even with as recent as Senator Padilla's hearings, I appeared as well to promote constitutional reform. In the House, I worked closely with Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. Uh, Late last year, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez asked me and invited me to assist and to help PIRMA and everyone else who is joining this People's Initiative for Constitutional Reform as an advisor. But I was supposed
Pero
to join.
Atty. Abad, sa dinami-dami ng mga pangalan na binanggit mo, at napakarami naman nila, nandyan yung Ghana Law Office, nandyan si Attorney Abisado, nariyan si Noel Oñate, di ba? Nandyan po kayo. Bakit yung pangalan mo ang pinili nila?
Ma'am, I think this is
Ikaw pa yung sinasabi mo, walang koneksyon. Hindi ka naman bahagi ng PIRMA. Ba't ka bida dito? Ikaw ang starring dito sa aming papel eh.
I've unexpectedly infamous for this, but Madam Chair, it's actually a curse of the alphabetical, my name being triple A. There are other petitioners.
Yes, could you name or mention some of the et al. That occur after your name? Sino-sino yung et al. That you say alphabetically succeed your triple A initials?
Well, alphabetically, you'd have former Congressman Argel Kabatbat of Magsasaka.
Mga kongresista yan. They're all congressmen?
Former congressman. There's, of course, former Congressman Garbin.
Okay.
Ed Gulye of CORE, Constitutional Reform Movement. This is
Okay.
recent organization or last 20.
Sila yung et al.
Ito yung mga et al. And of course, Sir Noel Oñate and former Justice Veloso, Ching Veloso. I understand there will be more, but these are the names that I am familiar with.
Pero, as an accident of your name, you're saying you are the single name mentioned in full?
Yes, it happened that the signature form came out with only one name, which is mine, and just an et al.
Yes, it's just problematic to me because I actually have the transcript of Mr. Oñate's testimony during the last hearing, during which he said, si Anthony Abad ay kasama namin sa professional sector ng PIRMA. Ang PIRMA ay maraming components. Merong farmer, professional, etc. Si Anthony Abad ay isa sa mga volunteers sa aming professional sector. Tama po ba yun?
Perhaps Sir Oñate can explain. I'm not organic or a full-time member of PIRMA, but I am assisting as a lawyer and as an economist.
So you know Attorney Garbin, the former congressman?
Yes.
And you're also familiar with Attorney Garbin's participation in PIRMA. Kasama kayo sa PIRMA.
Yes.
And together with other former congressmen and justices, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So you share the advocacy of PIRMA in pushing for the joint voting by the House and the Senate in the event of a constituent assembly?
Yes, that's correct.
Joint voting and not separate voting?
No, because I look at constituent assembly as a single body.
Right. But you will note that your name is also attached, voting jointly at the call of the Senate President or the Speaker, hence in violation of the bicameral nature of our government. Is that something you abide by?
My opinion, Madam Chair, is that when the heads of the houses call for the Constituent Assembly and
It's an or, sir. We all went to law school and the ands and ors were very important. It's an or. A single house can actually call for this con-ass.
Madam Chair.
I stand corrected, ma'am.
Yes, Senator.
I apologize, Madam Chair, but just to check, I think Attorney Abad has not been placed under oath yet.
That's
Madam
correct.
Chair.
I've failed to ask the committee secretary to, yes. Can we please require them to take the oath? Yes, Attorney Abad, please take the oath. I forgot. Sorry, and that will be for everyone that we've called upon. Sorry.
To those who were not able to take an oath during the previous hearings, kindly stand. For the rest who have taken a note, this is a continuing hearing, so your oath still stands. So those who are new to this hearing, kindly stand and raise your right hand. Kindly repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding. Thank you very much. You may sit down.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's proceed. I am still perplexed, Attorney Abad, because you have here very clearly your name in bold letters, indicating that you share the advocacy of a unicameral voting for the Constitutional Assembly. Was this something that you were aware of?
Yes, ma'am. It's well, from an academic point of view, I know that the 1987 Constitution does have certain vagueness, and we were looking at.
I think it's quite specific with regard to voting. There's no vagueness at all.
Well, we were looking at this People's Initiative as an opportunity to clarify this matter.
Okay, so that it was your stand that the Constitution should be changed into a unicameral body, a National Assembly, as originally debated long ago.
No, ma'am.
But this
it-
is
no, but-
the paper
No,
on
but-
which your name is affixed.
Yes, ma'am. But no, it's not about. It's the Constituent Assembly is unicameral. The Congress or the Parliament or the legislature can be bicameral or.
With all due respect, you put your name to an amendment that states 3/4 vote of all its members voting jointly,
Mhm.
okay? And secondly, at the call of the Senate President or the Speaker. So on two counts, it's clearly unicameral. Is that your stand? I'm not going to fault you for it. I just want to make sure that we understand what we're talking about.
My stand, ma'am, is that the Constituent Assembly is unicameral, not the Congress. I'm not advocating a unicameral Congress or Assembly.
But in the case of a change of the Constitution, a single House can call for the vote. Surely you're invoking the establishment of a unicameral assembly.
Yes, it takes on. It's the same people.
Hindi naman kailangan yung Senado dito, di ba? Maliwanag. Gusto ko lang iklaro kung ano talaga yung pakay ninyo rito kasi nalilito po kami. Kasi ngayon sinasabi mo, pang-con-as lang yan. Eh sa ligang batas yan, babaguhin mo. Yung ordinaryong batas, papalitan nga lang yung pangalan ng kalsada. Eh talagang BICAM kami ng BICAM. Eh para dito, para sa konstitusyon, kanya-kanyang kabig, okay na.
Madam Chair, what is of paramount importance to me is the constitutional reform. I can see and I understand now. I can see how divisive and how
Are you saying you allow them to put your name on this without full knowledge of what you were signing?
No, ma'am. I understood.
You understood.
Yes.
And you understood that, in fact, this was a way to evade, avoid, disenfranchise, abolish, in fact, the Senate.
No, ma'am. In fact, I personally don't think that the Senate should be abolished. I think the Senate should be an upper house.
Eh, ba't mo pinirman to? Nagtataka
No.
lang ako kasi yung mga abogadong kulit-kulit. Di ba ang turo natin sa law school, talaga isa-isahin mo yan. Eh, nagtataka nga ngayon, kaya pala ng speaker, mag-isa. Magtatawag siya ng con-as.
With all due respect.
Wala namang alam yung senador, wala rin yung Senate President. Pwede niyang patakbuhin. Tama po ba yun? Parang nalilito ako sa iyo eh.
No, ma'am. The Congress is bicameral. The Constituent Assembly, which gathers as a constitutional amendment body, is unicameral. It has a different legal
So you're saying that the
identity.
mere law to change a little road somewhere far away requires constant debate and discussion and finally consensus between the two houses, but a major change in the Constitution can be called by a single house. Wala, nalilito lang ako kasi ikaw ang nakapangalan dito eh, kaya kailangan panindigan mo.
Well, that's correct, Madam Chair. But you see, it's
What's correct po? Na pwedeng palitan yung saligang batas, kanya-kanyang kabig na kung gusto ng mga congressman, kung gusto ng senator, o di palitan nila kahit kailan.
no, it's the constitutional, of course, a constitutional assembly, a constituent assembly, as acting as a constitutional amendment body. Of course, has to be subject to scrutiny, and eventually it will require plebiscite or referendum, depending on what comes out of this constituent assembly. It is just that
With all due respect, since you're a constitutional advocate, parang dapat i-clarify natin. In any case, let's put that aside. It's obvious that this form attached your name without full information on your part on the implications of this proposition. Would that be an accurate statement?
my work should have come in only when the petition, if the petition prospered. I was supposed to be an advisor.
So hindi ninyo alam yung nakasulat dito?
Oh, no, I knew, ma'am. I knew what I
You
was...
knew?
Yes.
Yes, but right now you don't know. Sabi mo, hindi ka sigurado kung ganun talaga.
No.
Kasi gusto mo na ngayon BICAM. Eh
No.
nakasaad dito, unicameral voting, unicameral call for a CONAS. Let's please make up our minds.
Ma'am, a constituent assembly, although they are the same people who are in the Congress, is actually a different legal body for the purpose
No,
of...
we fully understand that. I'm just trying to get to...
Putulin ko muna guys. So, in other words, ito pa lang si Attorney Abad, parang props lang siya dito sa People's Initiative kasi hindi nga niya alam na pinirmahan niya yung People's Initiative na ang voting system ay unicameral. Ibig sabihin, pag-iisahin yung Congress, yung lower house at saka yung Senate. So, pero ang mindset niya ay payag naman siya na BICAM, dapat BICAM. So, confusing. Gusto niya BICAM, pero ang pinirmahan niya ni Attorney Abab is unilateral. Ay, basta yung pag-iisahin yung boto, yung parang mawawala na ng power yung Senate. So, ituloy natin, guys.
the bottom of this form because it is your name that appears here. And I assume that you abide by all the statements that are contained in this sheet.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, kalakalan natin for the record. Yung, alam namin yan, we fully understand na a constituent assembly is a separate body. We will be wearing another hat pag mag-form tayo ng constituent assembly. Pero yung point ng chairman is that klaruhin mo yung stand mo about voting jointly or separately. Yan lang gusto namin. From your end, yung matalagang gusto mo na voting jointly, na kaming 24 at silang 316, isang count lang ng boto namin.
That's correct, sir.
That's correct. So that's your, yan ang gusto mo. Kaya ikaw ang nag-spearhead dito na ma-amend ditong section 1 ng Article 17 by People's Initiative. So ganun ang gusto mo talaga. This for the record.
For the record, I wouldn't say...
I think just to help things along, there were statements from PIRMA, I'm not certain if it was Mr. Oñate, that alleged similarly that since the Senate was a constant roadblock to constitutional change, they wanted to have the two houses vote jointly para malusaw nga yung boto ng Senado. Tama po ba yun? Yun ba yung tamang idea sa likuran nitong papel na to? Okay lang, kasi wala lang sa amin. Total, puro proposal naman to eh.
Well, it's not to dilute the Senate's role. It's just that to clarify how you vote within a constituent assembly. That's my understanding.
But it's not
I-clarify
merely...
mo to, si amin mo na kagad ang konstitusyon. Yung palang clarification na gusto mo.
No, because it lacks clarity. We need to clarify.
No,
That's
but
my-
I think it's very clear also at the call of only one of the House leaders, there's nothing that says that it has to be bicameral. Okay din sa iyo yon na only one House. Yung Congress, kanya-kanyang palit. Congress will change the Constitution on its own. The Senate as well. Is that what you had in mind?
Could you repeat that, ma'am?
Well, ang liwanag dito, at the call of the Senate President
Yes.
or at the call of the Speaker of the House. So, kanya-kanyang tawag, kanya-kanyang palit ng saligang batas. Bahala na kung anong lumabas. Okay lang pag hindi nagkatugma-tugma yung dalawa.
Madam Chair, I'm not familiar with the work in how Congress works, but I would imagine that it would require still some consensus.
You have your name here. And you're not clear on what the language was?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
Just said it's unclear how Congress works.
No, I'm just saying that I would imagine that when you call, whether you're Senate President or the House Speaker, it would still require a building of consensus within these houses. Well, I don't know if
We can go to that later. I
Yes.
think you've certainly not answered all the questions. You've definitely raised my level of confusion. In any case, let's go back to PIRMA and revert to that. Do you know Attorney Garbin? Sabi mo kasali siya dun sa mga et al na sana lumabas din kasama mo.
yes,
Okay, so you're part of Project PI. That's correct. Because you were helping them. You said you were in an advisory role.
yes, that's correct.
So you also know Attorney Red Tuason?
No, I don't know Attorney Red Tuason.
I see. But Mr. Oñate said that he was the prime organizer.
Yes, I am not. I have now no involvement in the signature campaign, so I don't know the people who are in the operations part.
You have no involvement, but you are the single name on the signature sheet.
That's correct, ma'am. As I explained, because of the alphabetical order of the petitioners, my name.
Yes, guys, hindi siya involved sa signature campaign, but he is the one. Attorney Abad is the only one that signed in the petition paper. He's the only one signatory and etc. The etc. is not being named over there except for Attorney Abad's name. So continue.
Was put at the top of the list.
Mr. Oñate already admitted that he sought the help of Speaker Romualdez, whom he described as the CEO of the Congress. I think that is correct. Did you also meet with Speaker Romualdez?
I met him also.
Yes, was it to do with Project PI?
I just accompanied Mr. Oñate and Kong Rufus, and well, he just thanked me for participating.
Could you tell us when this occurred?
In December.
Hey, Attorney Jokno has reminded us that the People's Initiative should derive from the people. Did it not occur to you or to the rest that this had become a politician's initiative and not one that derived from the masses, the people, the citizenry?
No, my understanding, because I had been introduced to Mr. Oñate and the other petitioners, that they would be representing people's organizations nationwide. That's my understanding.
Okay, did you coordinate with Saldico, another congressman, the chairman of the Appropriations Committee?
No, ma'am.
He usually accompanies the speaker.
No, I have not had.
Did you coordinate with any other congressman?
No, ma'am.
Because Mr. Oñate has repeatedly admitted to coordinating with congressmen, given that PIRMA did not have the wherewithal, certainly not the organizational scope and reach that the congressman had. Did you coordinate with the other congressmen?
No, I did not, ma'am, Madam Chair.
Do you know the group called Change Philippines that Senator Bato and myself called upon in Davao?
Change Philippines? No, ma'am. I'm not familiar.
So the signature collection by Change Philippines and other groups was not authorized by you. Clearly, you didn't authorize them. You didn't even know them.
Um, only PIRMA, only those who appeared as the petitioners. At the ground level, I was not able to meet with these other organizations.
If if you didn't know them, why were they authorized to collect signatures on your behalf to file a PI petition?
Again, ma'am, I agreed to be a petitioner. My name came out alphabetically in the list of petitioners, and that's why it ended up on the signature sheet.
You're a law professor, you know very well that in order for any authorization to be valid, there must be agreement between the person giving the authorization and the person being vested with authority, correct?
Correct.
That being the case, how did you provide authorization for all these groups, such as Change Philippines, that you've never met, have not been informed about, and certainly did not authorize to use your name?
Um, I I just agreed to be part of that list, um, and that was my agreement to be part as a petitioner, and again, it I ended up being the top of the list.
Your name appears in all those PI sheets, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Do you know who drafted the signature sheets?
Uh, Congressman Garbin
With your full
and of course
authority, is that correct?
and the PIRMA group.
We're so unclear now about PIRMA. Perhaps you can give us a personal name? Sino po nag-draft nito? Kasi kayo ang nakalantad dyan eh.
Uh,
If I may answer, Madam Chair, I remember saying during the last hearing that when I discussed the People's Initiative with a group of Attorney Garbin, he coordinated with Attorney Abad and proceeded on their own. So it was Attorney Garbin, but we had to make sure that what was contained in the signature sheets would be consistent and the same with the signature sheets of PIRMA.
You're saying it's not PIRMA and you're speaking as counsel or lead convener?
I'm not lead convener, Your Honor. I'm counsel for PIRMA.
You're
Thank you.
counsel for PIRMA. So this was drafted by Attorney Garbin, who was here in the last hearing, and Attorney Abad is in full agreement with what was stated, even if you don't seem entirely clear about the bicameral or unicameral voting procedure. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct, Madam Chair.
Who printed them?
PIRMA.
Madam Chair, as to the printing and the operations, that would be answered by Attorney Red Tuazon. We just made sure in some instances we gave them a soft copy. And as to the printing, we don't know
I
anymore.
think your dates are not tallying, with all due respect, Attorney Abisado. Naglabasan nito, maaga-maaga pa, New Year. Eh, hindi naman niya kilala si Attorney Red Tuazon, di ba? Sabi ni Mr. Oñate, nakilala lang daw niya 2 weeks ago. Eh, 2 weeks ago, ang tagal-tagal nang umiikot nitong mga papel na to. Kailan ba kayo nagka-introducean?
That is correct, Madam Chair, because Attorney Red Tuazon is part of the group of Attorney Garbin. Sila ho yung nagko-coordinate sa grupo nila.
Madam Chair, medyo nalilito na ako. So, lumalabas dalawang grupo?
Parang maraming grupo, hindi sila magkakakilala.
Actually po,
gawa.
like we said, Senator Binay, during the previous hearings, wala hong monopoly ang PIRMA on People's Initiative. Marami
sige.
din pong grupo ang gumalaw and we will not stop them. Tinignan lang ho namin
Hindi, pero
sila.
yung
ganito na lang.
tanong, pero yung tanong, di ba, pare-pareho, regardless of the group.
That's
Tama.
right. I would like the clarification. O sabihin na natin na marami kayo at kalat-kalat all over the Philippines. Ang tanong, sino nag-imprenta niyan? Ilan ang inimprenta? Saan inimprenta? Magkano ang pagka-imprenta? Sino nagbayad ng pag-imprenta? O yung gano'n na lang kaklaro. Siguro naman may kaliwanagan dyan.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Senator Bato.
going back to the last statement of Attorney Anthony Abad, sabi niya, nagpaprinta daw si Congressman Carbin. Di ba? Am I correct? Sinabi mo?
Siya yung
Hindi, siya
nag-draft.
nag-draft.
Siya
Siya daw
nag-draft.
Siya nag-drop.
Sino nag-imprenta?
Madam Chair, as to the operations, it will be answered hopefully by the appearance of Attorney Red Tuason during the next hearing. All the questions for sure we are confident will be answered. Thank you.
Despite the fact that he was only hired 2 weeks ago, he has full knowledge of all the operations of PIRMA and the PI project.
You are
Is that correct?
you must be referring to the meeting of Attorney Tuason
No, I'm
and
not
Mr.
referring to
Oñate.
anything. It's Mr. Oñate who's actually said that he only met him 2 weeks ago. Pero
Yeah.
alam niya ang lahat.
Yes, but
Eh,
maaga na
na-imprenta
po
to
sila.
noon pa eh.
Yes, Your Honor. Maaga na po silang gumalaw ni na Attorney Garbin.
Ako, Senator Bina, naliwanagan ka ba o mas nalito?
Wait, so para lumalabas si Attorney Tuason, si Attorney Garbin, and si Attorney Abad is part of one group. Kailan ho kayo nag-umpisa mag-usap, kayong tatlo? Ni Attorney Abad, Attorney Tuason, and Attorney Garbin.
I met them in December, ma'am, Senator Binay. But with regard to nga the operations or administrative matters, I did not involve myself because
But were you part of the crafting of the...
yes, I had to review also and take a look at the draft.
And saan mo galing yung draft? Yung draft question for the BI.
Saan?
Sino ho nag-craft ng draft?
Si Congressman, or sorry, Attorney Garbin.
Okay. Madam Chair, did we invite Attorney Garbin for this hearing? Si Attorney Garbin, because apparently
Yes, Attorney Garbin was invited. He actually attended the first hearing.
Because parang lumalabas siya pala yung nag-craft nitong tanong.
Well, he drafted it. Siya rin ba nagpa-imprenta? Kasi ang sabi niya noon, draft, talagang tumulong lang siya at saka nag-distribute. Wala siyang sinasabi kung sino nag-imprenta. Di daw niya alam. Pagkaalam ko, wala siyang sinasabi doon kasi hindi niya alam. Sino nakakaalam sa pag-imprenta nito? Nalilito ako.
Attorney Red Tuason, the operations po. I'm for sure when he appears, he will answer all the questions. Kasama ho sila sa grupo ni na Attorney Garbin po.
So, kailan ho kayo, Mr. Oñate, kailan niyo nakilala si Congressman Garbin?
Your Honor, I mentioned during the last hearing when Mr. Oñate engaged our firm to proceed with this project of a People's Initiative. I mentioned this also at that time with Attorney Garbin, who also happens to be our client.
Wait, so,
And he told
sandali
us,
nga, kailan nga yung ang tinatanong
that was
ko?
December po,
So,
December.
kumbaga parang December lang kayo nagsama-sama.
Yes, and they worked fast. Sila po yung nauna. In fact, the signature sheets of Attorney Abad, sila po yung nauna, humabol lang din po yung signature sheets ng PIRMA.
Tama po ba yun, Attorney Abad? Nauna yung grupo nyo, tapos sumunod lang si PIRMA?
No, they were already involved.
Kasasabi lang niya eh.
Mag-usap-usap lang kayong tatlo,
Pwede ba
apat dyan.
magkasundo muna kayo
Usap-usap
sa
muna kayo
tete?
para-
Kasi linilito na ninyo kami.
Yung signature sheets, nauna ako, yung pangalan ko.
Siguro, balikan lang ho natin yung unang pagtatagpo nyo. Di ba?
Pang Valentine's Day.
Pang Valentine's Day, kasi parang meron kayong love affair dalawa. Kailan ho kayo unang nagkakilala?
Sa November,
So, November pa, so hindi
Ah.
December.
hindi December. December, I met the speaker. And we also
So,
met
Leo, bakit
separate.
napasok
Bakit si speaker na bigla? Akala ko hindi siya kasali.
Ayan, booking. Nagkita sila ni Speaker.
Oh,
Sorry,
bakit si
sorry.
Speaker
Nahulog ka sa sarili mong kinigan.
Attorney Abad,
Nahulog ka.
November, nagkakilala kayo
Booking,
ni
my God.
Attorney
Sila
Garbin.
muna
And,
bago
Mr.
si
Oñate.
Speaker. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry.
Sinong meeting niyo
Booking,
noong
my God.
November?
And
Sino-sino yung mga players? Sino yung mga na-meet niyo? Si
Ay, nako.
Attorney Garbin,
Booking na kayo.
si Mr. Oñate,
Itong si Argel Kabatbat.
Argel Kabatbat.
Yun yung farmers group.
Yes, farmer.
Oh,
Magsasaka.
yung magsasaka.
Okay guys, i-hold ko muna guys. Babalikan natin yung statement ni Congressman Marcoleta since nabuking na natin na itong si Attorney Abad ay nakipagkita pala way back December kay Speaker Romualdez. So, kasi bali sinasabi ni Cong Marcoleta na kapag napatunayan niya na nasa likod nitong People's Initiative, itong si Speaker Romualdez ay siya mismo ang makikipag-usap dito at sasabihan niya, he will politely tell speaker to go down, to step down. So, panoorin po natin, guys.
And ex-Kong din.
And Ed Gulye of CORE.
CORE,
Constitutional Reform Movement.
Yep.
Hindi po ganito. I
Sila
am not
mong
defending the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Si
I will
initial,
repeat this.
Initial group.
Tapos,
If
noong
this,
December,
if this
bakit
investigation will
kasama
find
na si
out
Speaker maliban sa
na siya
apat?
po ang nagpondo,
If I had met the speaker,
I will politely
we did have a,
ask him to
we did have a
step
meeting
down.
because they went to see him.
Pero
Oo.
alimbawa po
It was
kung
like sort of a
ito'y
courtesy
ginawa
call.
ni
And
Anthony
then,
about out
after
of
that,
exasperation,
we went-
out
met
of frustration.
about,
Because I think for the longest time,
about this
the House of
speaker.
Representatives have
Kasi
been
dati
inviting
sinabi
the
ni
Senate
Mr.
to meet
Oñate,
with
hindi
us
naman kasali
on a
si
constituent
Speaker. Saka
assembly.
na lang, nung
And the Senate
nagpapasaklolo na
repeatedly
sila kasi
refused
mahirap nga
us.
umikot
This is
at,
on record.
papirmahan yung
Madam
mga
Chair.
form.
It's the time that they went to.
Kahit
Kasama
kailan
kayo.
po hindi natin
Yes.
magagampanan, hindi natin magagamit
Ulitin po natin, guys.
yung isang modality to change the Constitution, which is the Constituent
Ayan, ulitin
Assembly.
lang po
Every
natin.
time an invitation is issued to the Senate by the House, ang answer po, dead ma. Dead ma. So kailan po natin gagamitin ang Constituent Assembly? We cannot.
Ulitin lang po natin, guys. Kasi sumama yung boses nila kanina.
People affected in this hearing, they should also be protected. How can we, for example, confront the accusers if they are all masked? Hindi po ganito. I am not defending the Speaker of the House of Representatives. I will repeat this. If this investigation will find out na siya po ang nagpondo, I will politely ask him to step down. Pero alimbawa po kung ito'y ginawa ni Anthony about out of exasperation, out of frustration, because I think for the longest
Ayan, narinig nyo guys. He said that he will politely tell the speaker to step down kung mapapatunayan he is behind. So, yung mga tao ngayon nananawagan na kay Congressman Marcoleta dahil kung napanood nyo kanina sa hearing, nagkabukingan na. Lumalabas, involved talaga si Speaker Romualdez. O, ipagpatuloy po natin guys.
time, the House of Representatives have been inviting the Senate to meet with us on a constituent assembly, and the Senate repeatedly refused us. This is on record, Madam Chair. Kahit kailan po hindi natin magagampanan, hindi natin magagamit yung isang modality to change the Constitution, which is the Constituent Assembly. Every time an invitation is issued to the Senate by the House, ang answer po, dead ma. Dead ma. So kailan po natin gagamitin ang Constituent Assembly? We cannot. It's impossible. Pag sinasabi ng Senate, well, ang dami pong ano eh. Okay, bago kami makipag-meet sa inyo, you will have to agree that separate voting. Ganun po palagang nangyayari. Ito po ang nangyari. Ako po matagal na sa Congress. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, Madam Chair, panahon pa po ni Speaker Belmonte, pinag-iisipan na natin to. restrictive economic provisions, blah, 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 blah. But we never agree just to meet. Alam po ninyo, Madam Chair, ang pinag-uusapan, mag-meet lang po tayo. Tsaka na po natin pag-uusapan kung yung 3/4 is voting separately or not.
Pero, yes, Madam Chair.
Pero
Yes,
wala
I
po
think,
tayo.
Tama observation ni Atty. Marcoleta, but that cannot be forced. If the Senate does not want to amend the Constitution through a Constituent Assembly, the House cannot force it. Ganun lang po yun, as simple as that. So therefore,
No one is forcing, Senator.
precisely. So, there should be no complaint kasi we are two autonomous bodies. Ayaw nung isa makimit sa Constituent Assembly.
The
So,
complaint arises from the fact that you do not want to meet with us. So
Madam
ang
Chair.
question, how can we make use of that particular
Yes,
modality? It is the first modality.
yes, that means that the present composition of both houses cannot avail of that mode kasi ayaw nga nung isang house makimit. So, ano na po yan? That's a political question, gamitin sa issue sa election. Pero our problem with the PI is yun na nga. Therefore, we suspected some politicians to be behind the PI because ang tinutumbok ng People's Initiative is the procedure sa Constituent Assembly.
Kilala ko yung coordinator at saka yung nakapirma sa barangay.
So, okay yun guys. Ikakat ko na dito yung video. So far, nakita na natin yung sagot dun sa kahilingan ni Congressman Marcoleta na mapatunayan kung na gusto niya na ma-invite si Attorney Abad para mapatunayan kung talaga nga bang nasa likod ng People's Initiative itong si Speaker Romualdez o baka out of sabi nga niya desperation dahil hindi laging nagmi-meet ang lower house at saka ang higher house para mapag-usapan yung amendment sa constitution baka kaya niya pinurso itong People's Initiative para na one voting system. Kaya lang kanina sa investigation kung mapapansin nyo, hindi naman ganun kapabor si Attorney Abad dun sa unilateral. Kung hindi, pabor siya dun sa BICAM. Ibig sabihin, BICAM, may separate voting ang Senado at ang lower house, ang Congress. So yun guys, so far, bibigay ko na sa inyo yung kung ano yung magiging opinion nyo, write na lang kayo ng message. Hope you subscribe and like the videos, guys. Thank you so much.